Your performance of Patrick it's one of the most beautifully nuanced performances I've seen in a long time. What was your process like at the beginning of season 1 when you sort of first started to craft him and decide who this guy was?
A lot of finding Patrick for me had to do with our director, Andrew Haig, who has a way of working that is really specific and unique in that he invites us all to bring ourselves into the room, and he has a way of rehearsing where he specializes in realism, and so he has this way of guiding you through a scene and guiding you to finding a character that allows you to find the character and find the ways in which you connect to the character, which makes us all feel incredibly personally invested in the stories that we're telling, and it makes us feel really connected to each other. So Patrick really came out of the writing, and then trying to find that place where your like real life meets the writing.
Well, and we all feel very personally invested in Patrick as we watch the show every week. We're like, no, don't. Oh, yes, please. Also, you've done a lot in the show. You've taken big risks, and you've done a lot of things that you don't get to do on other networks. What was probably the scariest thing that you've done so far?
It's weird. You would think that the scariest thing was the sex on the show, because the sex is very personal and very intimate. But the most uncomfortable that I have felt watching the show, from my own perspective, is watching Patrick's epic breakdown in the Halloween episode. That has been the hardest thing for me to watch, more than the nudity, more than walking around in my underwear, more than any of the emotional scenes. That monologue, while so fun to perform, was so painful to watch back, because it is just like an epic nosedive, and it's so uncomfortable. And I knew that it was uncomfortable while I was doing it, but I didn't realize quite how much until I watched it back. I was like, yeesh, this is rough. It's really rough. So that's the worst one for me.
Awesome. Well, we love the show. We're huge fans, and
good.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for your support.
Absolutely.